social media has a few negatives which affect young adults greatly. One of these negatives is creating a negative body image in young adults. Even if you know the images you're viewing in social media are being manipulated, they can still make you feel insecure about how you look and what's going on in your life. Similarly, we're all aware that other people tend to share just the highlights of their lives and rarely the low points that everyone experiences. Cyberbullying is also very common, especially among young adults and teens. This can affect their mental health and lead them to harming themselves or others. Social media can also become a distraction to young people, and that can develop into being an obsession to being online. This could affect their social life outside of the internet. It could also lead them to loss of productivity in school or work. This leads to isolation. This could also stunt their development and influence them for the rest of their lives. We have interviewed a few adults and students to ask them about social media and their opinions on it.
I think social media has become addictive not only for young people, but for the population as a whole. If you look at the amount of time that people spend on their mobile phones looking at the different social media sites, I think it's not just for the young, I think it's across all age groups, all socioeconomic groups, and it is, conversation between people tends to have dried up in lots of things. You go into a restaurant and you see all people are doing is looking at their phones. So I think, yeah, it is. And I freely admit that I do exactly the same as everybody else. I'm always checking my phone. So I think it is a bit of an issue, apart from Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings when I read the paper.
I think the most common effect that social media has on young people is enabling them to connect and communicate with their friends. Back many moons ago when I was a young person, you would sit in the hallway on the telephone talking to your friends, whereas now a lot of young people don't tend to speak as much. They tend to communicate through platforms like Snapchat, Instagram, not Facebook, because that's definitely for the middle-aged like myself. So I think it's enabled people to be much more connected and get timely information and communication quite quickly. But I think it might have lost some of people's social skills. So as an example, once a week, if not more, I've been the reception, meeting students, saying good morning and communicating. And it's almost like, I've invaded their space, or they've become really shy because they don't know how to say good morning, make eye contact, as like we are here now.
Unfortunately, the most common effect I've seen is not positive. It's not positive at all. And whether it's not positive because it's a young mind that hasn't been developed and defined themselves, unfortunately, following or the feed from certain amount of social media seem to kind of allow young people to drift in a direction that I personally would rather see them do better or somewhere else. So for me, it's not a positive, hasn't been positive observation.
Positive.
I think that's a really good question, and I would really like to know the data around how much impact, negatively or not, that social media has. I mean, social media, if I think about when it first really come about, which is probably nearly 15 years ago, it's really, I think, revolutionised our lives, how we connect with one another and stay in touch. So I think there's lots of positives. So as an example, we held here yesterday a jobs fair for the over 50s, and we had over 500 people attended that. And the positive promotion on LinkedIn and other social medias from the other stakeholders we engaged with, so the Department of Work and Pensions, Lewisham College, Job Centre Plus, it's been really, really positive. But as we know, there's a dark side to social media, particularly around, trolling or bullying or the expectations of what perfection looks like and so on. So I think the positives outweigh the negatives, But I think we really need to make sure that everyone stays safe and know what's appropriate to put on media and what's not, and what you should keep to yourself. But I think overall, it is positive, it's a good tool, and it should be used correctly. But when it goes wrong, and particularly if you're a young person, that can really impact on your mental health and well-being.
I don't even know if that's fair. I'm sure there must be something positive about it. Now, whether I'm influenced by my role as a personal tutor to so many young people, I don't know if that's my influence. But so far, I'm only seeing the negative end of it. I would want to believe there's something good and positive. So, for example, I'm sure there are millions of young people that are doing fantastic things, great projects, want to share, and even perhaps, running or managing their own little entrepreneurial business. So there's that side that could be good, but you don't hear a lot about it. You just hear mostly about the negative influences. Now, whether that's coming directly from television, because, all it takes, most television news is always presenting the bad news more than the good news. So even I myself might be influenced by things that I'm hearing. But I can't think of how else. I'm sure there's a lot of positive people sharing good actions. And why not hear more of it?
Use it every day pretty much, especially in the mornings. I reply to what people have sent me, and throughout the day I just look at it when I'm bored.
Every day, literally every day. Can't live without it. Well, it depends on the area you're targeting, innit? So like bodybuilding, there are positives and negatives. Food, there's positives and negatives.
Well, I feel as if there can be a lot of echo chambers on there, It's very divided and territorial nowadays, especially of all the things that are going on with, the red pill and the blue pill.
Social media. Yes, I have. Back when TikTok was Musical.ly, I posted videos to some of the things. I got a little bit of hate during it, and fat shamed, and
Yes, but I got out. It was a very rough period in my life, around 2020 to 2023.
yes. If I have a question urgent for myself, I go to social media. If I want to look up a song, social media. Everything. If I want to read a book, social media.
No. Just no. I don't really put out enough stuff on social media to have an answer to that question.
Yes, I sometimes comment on videos and I get hate for it sometimes, but it shows you how much people actually care, or they just want to be petty about something.